Hi everyone. Video is going to be real poor quality. I'm doing this on my phone real quick while I'm feeling in the spirit. I want to talk about how we listen to people. Um, I was just watching Lumo Project Gospel Jam, which I think is really good. I recommend it. I recommend those. They're really good. It's a word for word telling of the Gospels. As enjoyable, but that's not what I want to talk about. We were watching Jesus in the temple, talking to the Sanhedrin, the priests, and everything. And I'm thinking about this, about how Jesus said, they said, "What sign do you give us?" And they were questioning him strongly, and he says, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it up again in 3 days." And he says this confusing thing that he knows. I'm sorry, I'm moving the phone all around, but he knows they're not going to understand that. He knows they're going to screw that up. And they aren't listening to him carefully because they hate him. They hate him, and they don't want to hear anything good from him. They don't want to hear something positive, something true out of him. And there's this understanding came over me of when we listen to people, are we listening to them looking for God? When you're talking to someone and you can tell that they mean well, that they're trying to be nice, that they're trying to do something good, you have to understand that there's nothing good that dwells in our flesh. And if someone means well, if they're trying to do well, God has to be moving through them because that kindness, that love, that wanting good itself is God in them. And that if you listen carefully enough, no matter how unknowledgeable, no matter how squirrely something they're saying is, there's some Jesus in there because Jesus is helping them say it. I've been at FOTM 3 years, and I've met a lot of people here. A lot of people coming through, a lot of people who were real prideful, people under delusions, people who were real shiny and kind and Jesus-like. And God often will stick me with someone, and I will sit there real quietly and listen to them. And they will usually talk a lot about whatever they think is the most important thing in the world to them. And sometimes it's important, sometimes it's just their past, sometimes it's whatever they were doing this morning, and sometimes it's like, oh, this doctrine, this thing God told me, this is like the most important thing ever. In fact, everyone needs to be doing exactly this. And it happens over and over and over again, and usually I just listen. And sometimes I'm sitting there, I'll just be up front. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, God, this is like dumb. This is really dumb, and this is pride, and it's squirrely and stuff like that. And the Lord told me, be slow to speak and quick to hear, and listen to them, and love people, and believe good of people, and I will listen, and I will sit there, and I will be like, I hear what they're saying. That isn't how I'd say that, but I can see the good in that. I can, maybe if I interpret it this way, like they said something and I'm like, on its face, that doesn't sound right. But, maybe if I interpret, well, if this is this, and I will look for a way that I can look at that and I'll say, you know what, I could see that as true. Jesus says, I judge no one. But then in another place, he says, the Father has given all judgment into the hands of the Son. Well, wait a minute. Does Jesus judge no one, or is he given all judgment into the hands of the Son? We rush, and people are like, they want a sound bite. They want something they can grab, and then they can be like, see, this is what he said, this is what he meant, and their interpretation is the only way. Jesus says, I don't judge anyone, so Jesus never judges anyone. We don't know what Jesus meant when he said I. Jesus can mean whatever he means, and I'm not saying that his words aren't literally true. I mean that he means what he says. When he says, I'm going to destroy this temple, what he means by this temple is not what you mean by this temple. That's literally the thing they came to Jesus, and they accused him over. The high priest and the priests are all accusing him, and they're bringing all these accusations against him. By the way, I got these broken glasses. I'm sorry if anyone's been noticing that and distracted, but it broke the other day. I'm going to get it fixed. This is the one thing that it says that they got two people to agree on. Jesus said he's going to destroy the temple. Jesus never said that. People don't. Jesus himself said, "Be careful how you hear." Um, I can't remember the end of that, but it's something like, how you hear, more will be given to you besides. If you hear everyone and you are looking for bad, you're going to find bad, and you'll receive more bad afterwards. And if you're looking for good, if you're looking for Jesus, and you're trying to love people, you'll find that. We have a lot of people come through here. They are used to being the most holy person in the room. They're used to being that guy who loves God, reads the Bible, tries to preach to people, and everyone look at them like they are just crazy. Like they are, that they talk like a duck and no one understands them. And they're like, this is the Bible, this is the truth, don't you understand? And then they come here and they all get in a room with each other and they're like, hey, don't you understand who I am? I'm really holy. I got revelation from God, this is true. You did get revelation from God. But now you're in a room with a lot of people who are all seeking God. And we got to let go of that pride and be willing to be humble and hear each other. I feel this is a really important one God's talking about, that everyone should be slow to speak and quick to hear each other and to hear good from one another and be looking for truth from one another. If someone is talking to you and they mean well, you should understand Jesus is in there somewhere. Your revelation is not the most important thing ever. Whatever it is, it's not the most important thing ever. If it was the most important thing ever, it would have been stated in the Bible clearly. Share whatever God has shown you. And everyone be ready to hear. And everyone be willing to use it to build up the body and love one another. But don't think you're the most important thing ever. Jesus is the most important thing ever. And I just want to encourage everyone, be careful how you hear. There's a demonic spirit going around called a garbler. And what it wants to do is take, when someone says something, it wants to mix it up so you don't hear it right. And you hear it wrong, and you're offended by it. Offense is a spirit, and we got to stop being offended at people. We're Christians, and we're getting offended at other Christians. What about when the world gets offended at us? We need to learn how to turn the other cheek. Not being so concerned with ourselves and how we worship ourselves. And there are a lot of people who are still worshiping themselves. They aren't exalting Jesus, they're exalting themselves. And it's all about their life, their glory, their revelation, how people can listen to them. No, it's got to be how people can listen to Jesus and how we can love each other. Please, guys, let's try and get this right. Let's keep praying. Let's keep seeking holiness. I love y'all. God bless.